Whoa. Whoa. I don't think it did a fancy transition that time. But here we are. Seated, poised, we are ready to do a technical check because we got to make sure everything is going well before we jump into the fun. So I'll just yammer on a little bit, and we can get Lucy to tell me if everything is good, if everything is looking and sounding reasonable, and maybe I'll tell you what should I tell you? Well, I'll tell you a little bit about the plans for today. So we are going back to Sakrat, our analytic family, which we have been working on. Well, we worked on it last week, and then about 2 months ago we worked on it a bunch there. So this family has a really special place in my heart because we're evolving tone systems. We're working on analytic grammars, and we have a really nice kind of family tree of this. We have a nice tree of this family, and we have so far 2 reasonably developed descendant languages, which are called Me and Sásjut. So that's nasalized E, so Me with low tone, and then the other language is called sásjut with high tone on both syllables. Yes, Quinn. Depending on the lighting, I look more towards the blonde or brown-haired end of the spectrum. The season has changed here, as you can see. Long sleeves. I'm not schwitzing like a wilde Chaya like I was last time, or at the start of this trip, and it's now overcast. So hopefully, you're seeing the different sides of Lima. Yeah, it's overcast and kind of foggy actually, and decently chilly. Okay, so more concretely, what are we going to do with these languages this time? We need to make some romanization systems. We need to make I think we need to write a few texts, or at least a few short connected, a bit of connected text for Me and Sásjut. And if we have time, we can start to work on a third language so that we can put the text next to each other and see really cool kind of, parallel translations of things. I love seeing related languages when the same text is put, one next to the other, and you can see kind of in a nutshell what the course of evolution has been like for each of the languages. So, ship Lima. So, from what I understand, it differs depending on what district of Lima you're in, the mist level. So, for example, last weekend we went to Miraflores, which is closer to the sea, and although it was not misty at all, it was kind of sunny. When we started out, when we got closer to the sea, then everything got enveloped in this mist. So yes, such is life when you're on the coast. And okay, so if everything is technically good, then why don't we get started? And we'll start with some romanizations. So I'll do the YouTube intro, and then we'll jump in. Dun, 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 dun. Center myself in the frame. YouTube. Welcome back. We are going to work on our fun analytic family called Sakrat today. And specifically what we're going to do is work on some romanization because, well, you've all seen me struggle with the keyboard here. We need an easier way to type languages like Me and Sásjut. So we need a convenient way to type out these tonal languages, and since Me also has contrastive nasalization, we're going to have to figure out how to represent both tone and nasalization on the vowel. So that's our task right now for today. Let's scoot me over to the side. Whoops, there I go. And I'll update you on what I've been working on. So you'll notice a few things. One, colors. I've now that we've started to name these languages, it's not totally clear what branches related to what. And so I thought we could use color as a bit of a help for that. So we have the languages we've been working on are in this. So the Sakrat family overall has 3 main branches, which we've called A, B, and C. And all the A languages are going to be in this reddish color. All the B languages are going to be in this bluish green spectrum. And all of the C languages are going to be in this orange, zone of the rainbow. So that hopefully will keep things a bit clear. I've also put in lines separating different branches. But basically what I've done is I've made lexergy rule sets for all of these languages except for A, which actually we don't have any changes for. So we could work on that. We can work on that sometime. But I've made lexergy rules for all of these. I've put in bold the ones that are sort of meant to be spoken languages at the time of whatever. We haven't made many Conworld decisions yet, but the idea is that it would be roughly in this these languages be spoken roughly contemporaneously with each other. And actually, I forgot that B2A1 is one of them as well. So then we get cognate sets like I don't know, boy, boy, bo, bor, and bor. So that's kind of cool. Or for another example, we get doki, dotkrit, dos rakit, dos akit. And so these are our four languages that we've made an effort on so far. And what we haven't done is touched any of the C branch yet. And we haven't even come up with a premise for what's going on in the A branch. So that's the lay of the land, roughly speaking. Today, first task, let's Romanize these languages. So I'm going to start hiding some things for now. Oops, that was a bridge too far. So we have this language me. Let's hide. And let's hide all of these. And then let's come up with some romanization. So I'm going to scoot another window over here. Will it let me do it? Yes, it will. Okay, great. So we have a bit of resizing to do so that I don't accidentally go off screen like I'm always tempted to do. And there we go. Perfect. Okay. Right. So let's Romanize. Let's make a new tab. We'll call this nope, that's not the right one. MJ nasalized EL. So this is our way of calling the language so far, which you can't see because that's slightly off, but let's put that up. You can see I've made this little, this is what we're trying to avoid in this romanization. All right, so let's get started. We don't need proto-sásjút either, so let's hide this. So most of the segmental phonology should be pretty easy to Romanize. We'll probably stick with IPA for most things. So let's see. The romanization, so IPA, romanization. And let's make this, what's our font size? 14. Let's get everything up to 14. So it's nice and visible. And make things pretty. No, not like that. If you could see this keyboard, it literally has different letters taped over the actual letters. So I keep getting confused as to which one is U, because U is taped over I. This is like my nightmare. And now it's your nightmare too. Okay, so I think the first thing we should do is romanize yod with y, just because we don't have any front rounded vowels in this language and there's not going to be any confusion. I think that's a good first step. I'm going to check out the chat because I think I saw some good suggestions in here. Sutton saying 1 diacritic per vowel, multiple diacritics echo the vowel. Oh, interesting. That's an interesting idea. All right, well let's take a look and see what it looks like. So first with the segmental phonology, yod will romanize as y, as y. I think other than that, we just need we need our affricates to be, we have ch, we have dr. What else do we have going on in here? We have sh. We have some retroflexes. And yeah, we have a lateral fricative. So these are the things that we're going to want to romanize segmentally. Anything else? We have a retroflex n, ni. We have the velar nasal. And don't see anything else. We have je. Do we have sh? I'm doing this the ultra scientific way of just sort of scrolling down and seeing what I wouldn't want to type. No, it looks like that's what we have. Okay. So I'm getting a request that ch should be C. Okay, that works. And then we could do, for the lateral fricative, I don't know, we could do LH maybe. For the retroflexes, we could do, yeah, we could do like an RN. Who put that in? Someone put in an R. Who put that in? Oh, galactic sand. Yeah. So an R before can work for retroflex sounds. So then we can have RS, RC. So then the test will be, do we want chow to be this? Chow. That's kind of cool, I have to say. Yeah, let's stick with that for now. And G, and did we have, so we had a strong preference for romanizing ch with C. What about je? We could do, we could, I'm hesitant to do J because it may cause confusion. Oh, Quain, good point. We are missing one. Because we have the, where is it? We have the voiceless, so that should be RC. Okay, let me find where that's, you know what, don't be lazy, just type it out. So ch. So this should be RC. And this should be RZ maybe. Je or J. Or RG. Dr. I mean, etymologically, these come from TR and DR. So we could do something like that as well. And just put the R afterwards. And then we could do a ZH for this. So let's find some text to play with. So husngun, ignoring tone for now. So this is the word to be powerful. Husngun. Then we have, what's another one? We have the word dead, which would be ja. This could be, so the question is, we could put the R before or after. What do we like better? Let's, for all the retroflexes are. So do we like dra, dra, tra, na, sha? Or do we like something like dra, tra, na, sha? Yeah, it does look, it has a Vietnamese vibe. Given that etymologically they came from after, I'm leaning towards this, but this also looks really cool. For some reason, I like it before for N and S, and I like it after for D and T. There are no lone D's and T's because they affricated. So originally we had ta, da, but then in one of these languages one of the stages, they all affricated. So that's why you have tra and ja. Let's organize this a bit better. So it's essentially a matter of ba ba ba. One of these two. Okay. Okay. Sauten's heading off to watch a movie. Enjoy, Sauten. Although we have a parting suggestion that it should be RCRG. Okay. I'm going to leave this for now because I'm indecisive at the moment and I'm being pulled one way when I'm being pulled this way and that. I see this written, I like it. I see this written, I also like it. And now I'm intrigued by this. Let's make some other decisions so that we can then come back and see how it all harmonizes together. Okay, so then we need to do two more things, which are tone and nasalization. So what we could do for tone, so first of all, let's put in the, why is everything mislabeled? Let's see. So I'm going to find the nasalization diacritic somewhere, maybe, please help me. There we go. Nasalization diacritic. And maybe we could do something like, okay, so let's talk about the origin of nasalization in me. There are two origins. One is through CN clusters. So CNV becomes CR nasalized V. So let's do an example with A. We can say Kna becomes Kna, like Scottish Gaelic. The other source is final velar nasals. So nope. Nope. Okay. Nope. I'm in rare form today with this keyboard. I tell you, I just really want to print. Yeah, there you go. There's the nasal. There we go. So these are the two sources of velar nasals. Note that this means that there's no possible way of having a velar nasal coda anymore, because all of them became nasal vowels. So maybe we can take advantage of this to write nasalized vowels with NG codas, even though not all of them came from NG codas. So a good example would be the name of the language, which is me. Got to get the nasalization in there. That originally came from manis, which came from manis. So, but the S got lost. So maybe what we could do is say for the name of the language something like mying, and then we have to make a decision about the tone. I predict that the keyboard shortcuts issue is going to be a live one until I return to my computer. I hope any inconvenience is outweighed by the comedy value of watching me struggle with it. Okay, so then if this is the case, if we can use these illicit codas, and Logan actually, now that I see the chat, suggested this for tone. So I was thinking of this for nasalization, which would mean that we might have to do something else for tone. Or we can always just add another consonant onto the end. Let's see. So I'm seeing Moontruther saying NG for nasalization could be confusing. The question is, we have two suprasegmental features. We have tone to contend with, and we have nasalization. And we have to fit them both on the same vowel. And if we want to avoid diacritics, then yeah, we're going to have to do something. Although the question, okay, so Moon, you're saying that it's the NG specifically that's making it confusing. We could do something like some Hokkien romanizations like that, although I don't really like the way that looks. And H. Yeah, I mean, if then we're definitely encroaching on the Southeast Asian aesthetic. So we have options for this. Something else. Okay, so let's put that as some potential choices for nasalization. So NH, NG, and N. These are our live contenders. Or we could, if I dare, we can just use a tilde. Options. Okay, now let's look at tone, and then we're gonna have to put all of this together. So what are our tone categories in this language? Let's remind ourselves by going to our, where is it? Sheet 6, I believe it was. Everything's so expertly named here. So we have high, medium, I always say medium, high, mid, low, low, high, so rising and falling. So 5 tones. Let's go back. So H, M, L, L, H, H, L. These are the things we have to contend with. What are our choices? Oops, these should be over here. What are our choices? We could do diacritics. If we do diacritics, maybe something Mandarin-esque, like mid unmarked, low, low with the thing that marks the Mandarin third tone, and then rising with the acute accent and falling with the grave accent. That's one option. It would be hard to read the combination of that with a nasal diacritic. So this solution, I think, would go well with one of these fake codas that are showing nasalization. Another option, what would be another option? Would be tone letters. Then we could do sort of an etymologically inspired solution, given that part of the tone contours do come from former codas. This seems like it would just be extremely confusing. And for this reason, I'm very much in favor of the diacritic solution. So say we use that. Let's take an example of a bit of text. Something that has both okay, so the word for wind is pian. So then we would write that something like pian. I don't know. I don't mind that. Let's take some other examples. So pi. So this, I don't know, this actually doesn't have a meaning yet. But this looks like pi. And then the name of the language looks like me. Yeah, I think that's pretty reasonable. And then let's take a look at this this phrase, as soon as. So that would be, nope. That would be wow. 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 Ciao. Bay. Okay. Chat, thoughts. What do we think of this look? We also have words like bunye, bunye. Sorry, not nasalized. And a phrase like hu shamta, which would be something like chat, how you doing? I'm struggling here. This is really, really hard to write on this keyboard. I want to prove it to you, so you see what I'm dealing with. You see the little letters that are written over with other things. Couple that with the fact that this is a Windows keyboard working on a Mac, and I don't know what. I'm just sort of randomly choosing things and hoping for the best. All right, who? Oh, please. I beg you. I just want you. There we go. Hu sha hu sha ta. Yeah. I'm digging this. I'm digging this a lot. And then if we do it with the other kind of retroflex, hu sha ta, to have experience. Yeah. I almost think that this RS looks better. Okay, let's do the R before. So we can put, and let's use Sauten's idea of RC and RG for tra and dra. And yeah, I think this gives us a romanization. So then we use NH. Okay. Okay. I'm pleased with this. This is good. I'm happy. So we have the romanization for me. So now I can write it. I can write it, please. The only thing that makes me think is that I've put, it's about the tone diacritics. I've put the mid-tone as unmarked, but actually if we look at the language, the most common thing I think by far is low tone. Well, I could be wrong. We'd have to, okay, maybe not by far. Maybe we'll leave it. I was gonna say we should make the most common tone not need an explicit marking. But okay, I think that's good. Yes, so the chat, me, this is the language me, the first one that we worked on last week, and it's now going to be spelled something like this. Usually low tone is unmarked in most natural examples. I think that's true outside of East Asia. That's a quaint question. I think that there are some, at least there are some tone systems in the Chinese languages that require you to have marked L. But I may be just pulling things out of midair. That's half remembered. That's definitely half remembered a factoid, if you will. Okay, so if this is me, I'm happy with it. Okay, so I'll put it. Let's cut there, and then we can work on a romanization for the for sásjút. So scoot back here. Thank YouTube. Hey YouTube, did you enjoy watching me struggle? Did you enjoy the pain? Did it give you some I don't know, some Schadenfreude? I hope so. If you are into this kind of thing and you love watching me suffer with strange keyboard layouts, do come back and see the next episode in this series because we will be working on another romanization. So thumbs up. I don't know what else to say. We'll see you next time. Okay. Wow, I'm having trouble with this keyboard. Did you saw, right? Look at them. They're all for a different keyboard layout. Anyway. All right, well, welcome back YouTube in a second. I just want to center myself. I was getting frustrated with all the misclicks. Yeah, I'm happy with that though. That I think is nice. That's a nice romanization. And now we just need to make one for sásjút. And then we will get on and hopefully work on doing some more phonological evolution. All right, so let's welcome YouTube again and get on with it. Okay, whoops. There we go. Lucy, don't put that in. Hello, YouTube, once again. We are going to be working on a romanization this time for our second total language, sásjút. So buckle up and let's get started. Let's scoot me over to the side and we will get ourselves a new tab here. And let's look at what we have to do. So let's hide me and let's hide everything else. I know Lucy's going to put that into an intro now. This is the problem. Everything's so high stakes. So if I do something silly, it's going into the intro. Okay. So what do we need to put in for sásjút? So I think we have IPA romanization, same as before. Ba-ba-da-ba. Get the font size up. Ba-ba-da-ba. And nope. Bold. Underline. We're good. Okay. Okay. Hydrate, stretch. And we go. So what do we need to romanize here? So let's just do the easy stuff first. Yod is going to be Y. Unless there are front rounded vowels in this one. I don't think there are. My usual go-to in romanizing is always just to romanize Yod as Y unless there's a front rounded vowel. My major reason for doing this is just that I don't want people to be confused as to what it is. Yeah, so that's the first one. Next, we're gonna put in, okay, so we have some interesting vowels in this language as well. We have A and E. And there's always a question as to how to romanize those. We also have ts. We have ch. We have d. So in sásjút, the retroflex stops did not affricate. So that may make things harder or easier depending on your perspective. We have sh. Put that in with its friends. We should have, yeah, we have another retroflex. Sh. We have anything else? We do have coda, velar nasals in the coda. What do we have? We have our lone retroflex nasal, which doesn't get a lot of love. Yep. Okay, I think we have more or less plumbed the depths of all that we need to romanize. So we have zh, although it only occurs before D, I think, or another voiced stop. Yes, we have ah as well. That's another vowel we're going to need to deal with. Do we have it? Yeah, we have retroflex, voiceless retroflex stops. Another. Okay, good. And then we have what tone? What's our tone system here? It's L. It's low, high, falling, rising, I think. Do we have HLs? We must. Yeah, we do. So then we have high, low, rising, falling. All right, this is our task. So, yeah, Benji says that we can do something like and ah and ah. He just said or rather, sorry, EHOH, but then AH could be sort of like the logical continuation. I'm getting flustered. The point is, yes. And then we could do something like, I mean, TS, if we're going to be an H happy romanization, we could do something like ts and ch, sh and zh. that all seems pretty reasonable. And then we could do something like, we could steal our solution for the retroflexes. And then we would have something pretty reasonable, I think. So let's look at some various words that have these. So yon, quick, so that looks like yon. What's another one? So, high, harbor. So that would be something like so. Yeah, reasonable. And chan would be something like, shockingly, CHAN. Doo-doo, one by one. Doo-doo, sorry, that's high tone. Would be RDU. Yeah, this is looking pretty reasonable, I think. Snge, to suffer. So that would look like SNGEH, snge. Could do it. Shun, storm. Okay, so these look reasonable. Then I think we just need to figure out the tones. Tone letter. Oh, okay. Logan has got some tone letter suggestions. Yeah, so if we wanted to avoid diacritics, we could do something like this. Let's test it out and see what it looks like. So okay. So it would be something like this is, let's use B as Logan suggests, because this is a I don't know. This would have to be something like this. I don't see this being something that I'm going to be able to remember how to pronounce. See, it's complicated by our decision to use H. If this were to use Logan's original suggestion of doing something like something like this, then we'd have to make a different decision with these vowel quality diacritics. Yeah, this is a tough one. There's also the option that we can just romanize the tones, kind of like we've been doing. Like this, just have it unmarked low. So here we have, let's get some examples in here. So what we could do is it would be something like dome, use, and then shine would be neat. To see ka would be like this. I don't know. I feel slightly boring using tone diacritics again, but at the same time, I want this to be easily pronounceable. So I want the romanization to be for clarity, first and foremost. Flavor can come into it as long as clarity is not sacrificed. The thing about, Logan, about using double vowels for contours is it makes me think that these are long, that they're long vowels rather than all of the same length, just with different tonal contours. Which is, okay, here's what we should do. Let's make two romanizations. One is the have mercy on Colin so he can read this romanization, and one is the play with tone letters romanization. So this is what we have so far in the be nice to Colin so he can read it romanization. And then if we want to use a romanization like Logan was suggesting, we could do something like this. No, we can't use H. So unmarked, marked low with a B, and then using the double vowels to mark contours. Maybe something like this. So, sorry, I'll use this. So that's what it would look like. So B is going to be marking a low tone, double vowel is going to be marking a contour, and double vowel B is going to be marking the contour that ends on low. The question is then, if we want to go into a historical spelling route, let's look at the sound changes that gave us these tones, which are stored in this gigantic, horrible sound changes sheet. So let's not look at that. Let's look at my rough estimation. So what happened? Low tone, we got low tones before S and H. We got low tones before nasals. We got high tones after geminates or H and HLA. And that's more or less the origin of each side of the tone. And then we had default high tone. Yeah, this is the kind of like non-beginner tonogenesis language. We in Me, we've had more fun with this kind of typical pathway of evolving tone. And this one we had we took it up a notch and maybe ventured into some non-typical territory. So then there was another question: where does the okay? So where do these vowels come from? They actually come from coda R originally. So maybe that's the easier option. Where did my spreadsheet go? Here it is. They came from coda R. And so I think it makes more sense to do this with a little bit of historical spelling. Whose suggestion was that? Jack. Thank you. Yes. This makes to me more sense now. And then we can use H if we are so inclined. So we can use something like that. So high tone marked with H afterwards, low tone unmarked, rising tone marked with double vowel and H, low tone, falling tone marked with double vowel. Oops, double vowel, please. And then we have a fully non-diacritic involving system. Yeah, actually, I kind of like that. So then what would this language look like? The name is sásjút hi hi. So it would be written something like sásjút. That's kind of cool. Or alternatively, in the diacritic spelling. All right, let's I think we should, let's bang the gavel on this one. And let's keep both systems in existence, but I'm going to prefer the tonal letter system because it's easier for me to write. Sásjút. And I'm going to fill in the name of the language here. So the way I've done it, the tone letter comes before coda consonants. Otherwise, we get something like neat, which I don't know. I think HT looks a bit better. The nice thing about this is H is a good mnemonic for high tone, so it's easy to remember. Okay, so that's sásjút, and then we have, I need to write down me. So hide. So here are our two languages romanized in their own special way. Me and sásjút. Happy. Chat, are you happy? I'm happy. Okay. Well, I think it's a rather natural break. I'm not sure how long this segment will end up having been, but I think that's good. I'm going to say goodbye to YouTube for a sec, and then we're going to go in and we're going to do some more intriguing things. So YouTube, again, always thank you. I think that was probably less suffering on all of our part with the keyboard shortcuts. Thanks to Logan's great suggestion of having a tonal letter romanization system for sásjút. So thanks again, and we will see you next time. Okay. It's always nice to say goodbye to YouTube. I mean, I know how few people actually stick around for that that portion of the video, so it's not super crucial, but it's nice to say goodbye to people. You never want to just abruptly end a video like that. Okay, so what is next? What did I say? What did I say in the stream description? I want to make sure I fulfill all my promises. I think it's time to write some texts. It's time to write some texts in our new languages. And what we have is we have the North Wind and the Sun in Proto-Sakrat. And so what I think we might do is just evolve that text into me and see what it looks like. And then as we do that, we'll introduce some grammatical changes because, you know, there are going to be grammatical changes going from one language to the next, and that's kind of where all the fun is. So, I don't know. Does that sound good? I'll tell YouTube about it then. YouTube. So great to see you again. We are about to work on me, our tonal language, and we are going to write our first text in me. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the text that we made for Proto-Sakrat, which is a translation of the North Wind and the Sun fable, and we're going to put it into me. So that's the plan. Let's get writing, shall we? Okay. Okie dokie. For one reason or another, I accidentally wrote okie dokie as okie donkey one time, and now my phone is convinced that okie dokie does not exist and okie donkey is the actual phrase, and it's actually become it's actually become the phrase in my mind. It's kind of, we've, that slight mistake has actually created the new phrase, and now I say okie donkey much more often than I say okie dokie. I have to remind myself not to say okie donkey to people who don't already know about this, which is why I'm telling you, so that you know about this, so the next time I say okie donkey, it's not going to be a weird thing. Or it might still be a little weird, but at least you'll be clued in. Okay, so me. We need to write a story in you, please. So let's go over to the Me tab, and let's, it's kind of like a story by Borges, isn't it? Someone comes up with a fake phrase that, you know, that they made up, and then gradually it spreads throughout the world and everyone's convinced that it was always like that. Okie dokie. You're welcome / I'm sorry. All right, let's go back to our, I'm always not the most organized person in these spreadsheets, but do you remember our first sentences in the proto language? Pepperidge Farm remembers. All right. So the north wind and the sun. Scoot this back over here. Here is our rather ugly, now properly formatted, although for some reason they put in borders. Okay. If you want more references that'll take you back to the Stone Age, just stick around. I've been holding back, believe it or not. All right, so we now need to take this Proto-Sakrat story and turn it into me. Turn it into me. Alrighty, so let's go back to our lexicon tab and let's get started. So let's hide sásjút so that we don't get distracted, and away we go. So we have, first of all, this proper name particle, and I don't think I've actually seen it in our little list. So maybe I've neglected to evolve it, but I think we have to do that. So let's go back to Lexergy. Excuse me 1 second. I'm going to show you something that's a little bit unphotogenic. And I'm going to do a live derivation. Always a danger. You can see a window into my workflow. So we have yo. So it's basically this. All right, that is all. So we can start to romanize. So yo. We may drop this article system. I'm not sure, but we'll keep it for now. The first pass of this text is going to be just running it through the sound change applier, and the second pass will change some of the grammar and vocabulary as well. Okay, so what do we have for north wind? Pana. So this is going to be pian. Nope. Yo pian. Pian wind, and the north, which is tutan, which is going to turn into yo pian tan, ma. What is ma going to become? Ma yo. And then re. Don't worry, I won't do the whole thing like this. We just have to get our feet wet. Re. La. Proto la, which is the past tense particle. Mi, la, la. Always. Wong, continuous aspect markers. So this is going to turn into wong. And then the last word, giris, which means dispute. Let's just okay, so here's what we have. Yo pian tan. Sorry, I need to scaffold my tones. Yo pian tan ma yo re la won ki. Yeah, we have to have someone who speaks a tonal language with greater facility than I on to pronounce this. But this is what it comes out as. Right. Okay, so then the question is, I don't know what that was all about. The question is, well, as Moon Truther asks, is there any semantic drift yet? Yeah, we need to put in some semantic drift. We need to put in some semantic drift, but I also kind of feel like we should have some tone. Yeah, veggie. Took the words right out of my mouth. Quain, thank you. I do it. I do it for my public. What can I say? We need some tone sandhi. This is something that. Yeah, this is something I want to put in. The question is, given that we have absolutely destroyed the contours, the contrasts in this language, we've gone from sesquisyllabic to monosyllabic, we've lost our codas, we've done all of these sorts of things. We're picking up some of that functional load with tone, but it might not be enough, and we may end up having extensive use of compounding. And that may help us. So instead of sun being re, we might have something like bright sun, or white sun. So instead of just re being sun, it could be something like regun, which comes from sun white, but just means sun. Something like that. And so in other languages, maybe the word for sun, this proto form re, continues as is, but in mi it's compounded. Something like that, I think I could see happening. Or something like north being tan, maybe it comes from, we have a word for maybe there's a word for quarter, like a quarter of the world, and so all the direction names become compounded with that word meaning quarter. I don't think we have anything like that, so why don't we put it in maybe something like bikra, means divide or part. And then we have something like patan as north. So I want to just make sure I'm remembering all of these decisions. So I'm just going to write them off to the side. And then what I think we could do is have some tone sandhi operate within these compounds. What I'd like to do is keep the rightmost tone, and then lose distinctions on the tones to its left. And what we could do is, it depends on what kind of tone sandhi we want. We could just obliterate the tone altogether and then have it filled in with a default tone. Maybe something dissimilation-y. So instead of being mid-high, like we have for patan, it would go to low-high, so patan. So we lose tonal contrast on everything but the final syllable in a compound. And then we might have LL, so regun is LL. It might go to HL to dissimilate like that. MH goes to LH. So the idea is that whatever you have, you're going to have the opposite in all of the previous syllables of the compound. And so essentially what we're doing is we're just eliminating contrasts in the non-head syllable of the compound. That would be the idea there. And that would be a rather dramatic kind of effect, so that really tones only have, we have really word tones. Only the rightmost morpheme in a word is going to be the one that gives us the tone. And then what we could do if it's a contour tone is spread that out over the newly toneless syllables. So let's find one that has this. So that's not. So let's take a word like, well, we have north. Do we have any other directions? South, that's not going to help us. I need a compound with strong. Okay, so for mind, we have this word, this sya. So mind is sya. And strong mind is something like, maybe we have a word like this. So ri plus sya. And this would give us something like, okay, stop. Okay, so essentially we have LH plus LH. And what's the result? We lose the LH on the first syllable, and then we spread out the LH over the entire word like this. So rinxia. I think that could be a decent approach to take. So to write this up, let's write this up over here. Tone sandhi in compounds, only the rightmost morpheme retains, or rightmost morpheme syllable, same difference in this language, retains tone. Let's pull this over here so you can see the whole thing. So that's rule 1. Oh, yeah, you're right. Jack, thanks. Thanks for pointing that out. I got the tone wrong on ring. But interestingly, because it's the first it doesn't even matter what it is. It has no effect on the output form. But it is good to get it right. So thank you, Jack. Good. And so this is strong and mind. So this would be like something like mental strength, fortitude, something like that. Okay, so then the second rule is toneless syllables dissimulate from following level tone. So this is what we have in, so we have pa, sorry, how do we, let's get to the mid-tone. I don't speak any language that has mid-tones, so I'm not sure what to do with them. Pa, tan, and what happens is that mid-tone drops out and gets filled in with this default dissimulated tone, which will be low. So pa, tan, and that would mean north. Right. And then similarly, if you have a low tone in the rightmost syllable, then whatever the first syllable is, whatever the tone of the first syllable is, it will become high because we're dissimulating from a following level tone. Okay, that's rule 2. Rule 3, contour tones spread. So the first, let's just say contour tone spread. Spread to toneless syllables. So the first tone of contour tones spread to toneless syllables, leaving the final syllable as a level tone. Sorry, you can't see that. All right. So with this, we have a nice little tone senti system. I don't know how realistic it is. At first blush, it seems like something that could happen. I don't know. Tone experts in the chat, let me know what you think. But in this sense, we have essentially word level tone. Everything about the tone of a compound is determined by its final tone, or the tone of its final member. I hope I've explained that more or less correctly. Right. So then we've made a few words. Batan, and then we can just avoid writing on the on all of these pre-final syllables. So we have regun, regun, meaning sun. It is anti-wu. Okay. Yeah, I dig that. I dig that. Okay, let's do the next sentence. So we've already done a few of these words. Logan has an interesting thought here. If the tone contour splits across 2 syllables and then we get the dissimulation going on. Yeah. I mean, that could definitely work as well. And it would fit, I think, in with the with rule 2. First tone of the contour tone spreads to, okay, so first tone of the contour tone, if we were to do it this way, spreads to preceding toneless syllable, leaving the final syllables a level tone. Further toneless syllables. This is like 3B. Dissimulate. Yeah, I like that. That's good. Thank you, Logan. That's an interesting. Yeah, that's a nice system. If I do say so myself. All right, so then key. Let's see what else we have here. We have this locative, which is be. I also think that we could make these kind of proclitic-y things toneless. And so we would have something like yopian. Yopian, sorry, that's nasalization. Yopian. So essentially it would be acting like a, it would be within the, within the bounds of tone sandhi. So let's write that in as a clitic, and we can just obliterate the tone markers on all of those. Yeah. I like that. Okay, so then what do we have? Something a lot easier for me to say. Yo pian patan mayore gun lawon ki. Yeah. I mean, you're gonna laugh at my tone pronunciations for a while I get used to this language. But that's fine. That's what we're here for. Having a good time. So beda. And let's keep going. So then we have a hungisun. This is it's kind of a, it's not a combo, it's a sort of a verb object idiom having power. I think we'll treat that as separate sandhi domains. So then we have hai hu. So we have ki beda hu. And then what do we have? Sngun is low. Nope. Incorrect. Wrong again, sir. Ki beda hu sngun. Yeah. We're kind of getting close to this, I don't know, DMZ, this liminal space between the stress and the tone worlds. The space where pitch accent dwells. All right, que. And we'll say que is one of these proclitics. And then we have. So here we have a contour tone. So it would be que no, low high, rather than low rising, because the contour tone is stretching out over these two syllables. So as a result, this is what the actual tones look like. L, 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 H. What was this again? I can't see it. L, LH. So ki beda hus nunque no. And then we have the copula. Which we haven't evolved yet, so let's do that now. He is going to be high tone. And let's call this a proclitic as well. And then we need te. Te medium. Oh, so the question is, what are we going to do when we have the midtone as the when we have the midtone? How are we going to dissimulate from that? How are we going to dissimulate from the midtone? I don't know. Ugh. Chat. How are we going to dissimulate from the midtone? It's either, I mean, is it either high or low? Is it arbitrary? Do we just make a choice? This is the gap in my experience. I don't know how these systems with midtones really work. Yeah, let's ponder that. Chat, if you have any suggestions, very curious. I'd be very curious to hear them because we have to figure out what to do. Mid. And then what's our WH word going to be? Men. Low is more common. I mean, low is more common in the language, for sure. Yeah, maybe we could say mid acts as low for the purpose of dissimulation. So this is another rule. So that we can at least have some more high in the language. So ki beda ahus ngunque no he te men. He te men. That's great. Oops. This desk is metal, and so all this that you're hearing is me injuring myself grievously. Alrighty. Okay, this is kind of cool. Let's do the same thing with this this first phrase so we can see what the tones are like. So this is high, low, low, high, 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 low, high, high, low. So we have yo pion patan mayore gun lawonki. I'm probably being overly sing-song, but I'm trying to make sure that the contrasts are there and they come through adequately over the stream. Okay, and I don't think I could do any better. I mean, that's the other reason. Okay, cool. This is neat. Let's see if we can do anything else with this. Let's see if we can do anything else with this. Nothing yet. We're going to have to do some semantic drift, but well, why don't we do that? Let's take one of these words and drift it. So what are our lexical? So we've already played with north. We've already played with sun. Maybe we could do something with dispute. So maybe if we have a word like say, we could make it become sort of more of an angry saying. Yeah, so maybe hla becomes to argue. So our nice word to say or speak becomes to argue. Argue, strive, contend. And then in that case, we would change key to hla. Oops. No, that was entirely the wrong. That was entirely the wrong place to do that. So hla, and then these tones would flip. I know, Quain, it's a bit sad that we've lost all of our contours. I mean, they will show up eventually. Ooh. Moon Truther, you've come up with a good one. Let's see. Where's that be in time? So maybe this could be our copula. Maybe we'll lose this he. And we could wow be in time. This could be a copula. So let's put that in. Mualte. Mualtemen. Mualtemen. And so we'd have to change this key as well to hla. So hla beda husngun que no mualtemen. Mualtemen. Yeah, so the contours will stick around when we have a monosyllabic word, word for the purposes of sandhi, phonological word. Yeah, cool. Okay, I like this. This is kind of cool. I'm gonna scoot over and I'm going to say goodbye to YouTube for now. That ended up being kind of cool, YouTube. I don't know what you think. If you do think it was cool, let me know. Comments, right? The usual thing. If you don't think it was cool, same advice applies, really. I'm very curious to hear what you think about this one. But anyway, we will see you next time, where we'll probably do more of the same. Or maybe something different. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. Okay, well, we'll see you then, at any rate. Chat. This is some heavy lifting. I'm pleased with this. I'm quite pleased with this. I think for sásjút, we should be less aggressive with the sandhi. I think what we probably want to do is have like maybe some sandhi that smooths out contours that change too quickly, like HOH, but otherwise keep things relatively even. Yeah, I think that's probably the path that we'll take there. So then, given that we have been doing romanization, we've been doing some tone sandhi, we've been working on this text a bit, I'll give you the here's my thinking, and I'll put it in your court. Do you want to continue with this text and exploring the dimensions of tone sandhi? I can also do that off screen and come back to you with it next week. If you would rather do something like evolve another one of these Sakrat languages. So why don't we say, and then the third option would be to work on sásjút, tone sandhi. So 3 options: continue with the text, evolve another language in the family, or work on Sakrat, work on sásjút, tone sandhi. So the choice is yours. If I get anything in the comments next few minutes, we'll use that to decide what's the mood of the room, you know? Yeah. Otherwise, while you're pondering and figuring out what you would like most, chat, how are you today? How is everything? Like I said, the weather has changed here. It's now just total mist, and I get to wear long sleeve shirts again, which is always nice. I don't know why I like long sleeve shirts. I like not having to wear them. I like having the option. I feel like that's an important distinction to make. Okay, I'm seeing more sound changes. We could work on A. Yeah, why don't we do something with A? Let's Venn diagram this thing. Let's work on evolving grammar in the branch A. And I want A to be kind of different. I think, yeah, I want branch A to be kind of very separate from the rest, so that when we see the same text written with branch A, branch B, and branch C, branch B's languages will look more or less, yes, clearly related. I want branch A to be extremely divergent. I think we should make it more fusional. I think maybe it falls under the influence of some, it gets into the wrong crowd, starts agglutinating. I don't know. Something like that. So yeah, why don't we work on that? And we can leave the phonological side of it mostly to the side for now, and just work with protoforms but change the grammar. Okay, so I like that. Oh, Logan, allergies are... it's weird. I like to think that there's some sort of time of year when they happen, but it doesn't seem to be the case for me. They just happen all the time. And so whenever I'm sneezing and someone looks at me, sort of askance, like, what are you doing sneezing? I say, well, allergies, 'tis the season. And then I hope that they don't think too much about this 'tis the season thing, because, like I said, for me, it's just sort of, I guess I'm allergic to different things at different times of year. All right. So I'm going to say hi to YouTube, and we're going to get and have some fun with branch A. Okay. So, I'm going to just do a little window, messing around here. I need a new tab for A. And I'm going to put in, I don't know. I'm going to take the same passage. I'm going to put it in this new tab, and then we can play with it from there. So far, A has the exact same phonological forms as the proto-language. All right. Okay. Super. YouTube, welcome back. We have been working on this Sakrat family for a while, and we have been working a lot on the intricate phonologies of the different languages in this B branch. The whole family is divided to 3. We have the A branch, the B branch, and the C branch. We've given the B branch a lot of love. We haven't looked at A at all. And we've also been doing a lot of phonology, and we haven't been doing a lot of really anything else. So we're going to try and rectify both of these things in this next segment. We're going to be working on the A branch, and we're going to be working on evolving some cool different grammar. So with all that said, let's scoot over to the side webcam, and there we go. All right. So I'm getting a suggestion in for VSO for branch A. So Proto-A is going to be a very different language than any of the other branches of this family. So let's make it our first thing. Let's VSO this. So if we're going to VSO, the first thing we should do is take this entire verbal complex and scoot it up to the front. Now, I am not, despite having been interested in Celtic, I am not intimately familiar with the literature on how VSO comes about diachronically. So if anyone knows about that, either in the chat now or on the comments, in the comments, if you're watching this later on YouTube, I'd be very curious to learn if there's been any diachronic work on the evolution of VSO order, and what that's all about. Because right now my approach to it is just literally take the verb, put it at the front, ta-da, VSO. Yes. So that's good. So that's the first thing. So in the first sentence we have Lawon kiris yopana tutan mayore. The north wind and the sun were disputing. And what did they dispute? We'll take this copula and we will put it up here. I'm going to take the whole copula and its complement and put it up. So then we have something like, they contended over which one, oops, I got it wrong. Which one had the most power, had power beyond all. Okay. And our grammatical particles are going to turn into affixes. Yes. So I think maybe we want to do something like, so we have this wong, our tam is up here, la wong. La wong kiris. Maybe we could do something like turn these into suffixes. Kiriswong la. If we wanted to go entirely the opposite way. Wong la or la wong. I'm not sure exactly which one. Kiris la wong. And like Quain points out, this is there's some fun that can be had with the phonology here, but we're gonna wait for that. we're going to wait for that for a second. Okay, so they contended over who was over which one is the one that had the most power. Okay, good. Agreed. So we have all these copular constructions. So I'm going to take the copula, put it right after the complementizer. Copula with its complement, and put it right after the complementizer. And we can put, yeah, so that's good. This means was considered the winner. So they agreed that that they would consider the winner the one who was first able to remove the clothes from the traveler. These glosses are not fun to read, I have to say. Ooh, circumfix. Yep. So something maybe like this, la kiriswong. I like that. And this, these relative markers, this a relative marker, I'd like to do away with that. So let's take that and wait, what did I just do? No, I want to get rid of this rel here and put it as an affix on the verb. So it's kind of like some sort of a participle. Hua, like Al Pacino, right? And so all of these relative markers are going to become some kind of participle. It's going to go onto the verb first. And we'll put it onto able. And we can take these and put it below the verb. So being able first, actually, what did I just remove? I forgot. I forgot. First able. Pedro. I'm getting lost in this gloss. I have to be honest with you. I know Pedro is first. What is puis? I'm forgetting all of this stuff. Ah, puis is able, so toir is remove. So this should be puia. Okay, good. Yeah, Moon Truther. Interesting in my case is sometimes, yeah, my thought process is strange. I'll be the first to admit it. Oh, that's interesting, Logan. Yeah, I have seen some of those papers. I think that your capitals on highly contentious are well placed. In general, you know, I'm almost less interested in the general case, and I'd be more interested in specific cases of are there intermediate steps between SVO and VSO in a language that went from one to the other, or SOV and SVO. You know, things that don't come from Romance languages. Or English. All right. And so traveler is going to become robana. Travel participle. And then what we could also do is we could take some of these things like the malefactive and turn it into a case marking. So robanatra. That's cool. Yeah. So now we have something like la kiriswong yo panatutan mayore. Kiris bedahe temen huang isun kwenok. Drurusad dahe trong giraka puya pidrut warnglestra robanatra. We went from SVO to VSO. Oh, wait, who's we? I'm talking about this language here. Ptaku 93. I'm going to put the tra after robana because this is, it's travel, the traveling one. It's kind of more derivational, and then we have the very clearly inflectional malefactive suffix going after it. So we'll see inflection going on the outside of derivation. Okay, then what else do we have? Yo panatutan pidru. So this is needs to be raised. Used. Nomio panatutan pidru ngisun nok huhu. And then we have this huhu kwe hungisun. The keener his blast, the closer the traveler. So we need, first of all, to take this and put it as a suffix. So travel participle. And we need to put this verb up at the start. So have, who, who kwengisun, have blasts, and then we have this comparative particle, power. So have blasts, had the blasts more power. Oh, this glossing is terrible. Go back in time, someone, and tell me, tell past me to write this a bit more clearly, because I don't remember what. Oh, prop is proper name. Okay. I just Colin, why do you do the things you do? So then I have to take nom and raise that as well. And then the question is, where's this comparative? So this que is coming from a verb meaning to surpass. So have blasts power. I want to say this should come at the end, like. So have blast power surpass. Let's just gloss it as more. Have blasts power more, meaning the blast had more power. Use the traveler the cloak more wrapped around himself. To wrap around himself. Okay, so then let's put this over here. I don't know why I'm making these decisions. I'm purely flying by instinct right now. Hu ngisunque nomyo robana bateque dalernis. But I think it works out okay. I'm going to remove this que. So I'm going to gloss it as more or more than. Depending for this language. All right, let's see what else we're doing here. So what's our verb here? Yapklat. So yapklat, to give up or abandon. Gave up. And I'm going to just reorder this adverb, this adverbial here, up under the verb. Gave up at last, the wind. Hope of victory all. Hope victory all hope of victory. And called the sun to see what he could do. Yeah, I don't think any of the other stuff needs to be changed to become SVO. Anything else we can do here? I don't think so. I'll put a comment in the gloss here so we can at least keep better track of our place. Yore nom tuarnok lanrit. Okay, at least we have a past here. What do we do with past? That's staying as a prefix. So it goes up to the start of the sentence. Past shine. Lanrit yore nom tuarnok. Great. Okay. Stretch, hydrate. All right, we're almost done. We're going to, this will be all VSO'd nicely, or maybe not so nicely by the end of this. So what's our verb here? As soon as the traveler felt the sun's rays. So feel. So as soon as the traveler, pibrun is our verb. So let's get that up at the start. What's going on? What is going on? It tries to make it a URL, and I don't approve of it. Although it shouldn't be right. It should be right after this. As soon as felt the traveler so robana paurre one by one took off his clothes. There's something wrong with this sentence. I think there's too much in it. As soon as felt. Yeah, why are things being repeated? As soon as felt the traveler the sun's rays, he first drudru. What does drudru mean? One by one, took off Nglesio. What is going on here? What's this Nglesio? I think I must have copied. Do you see what's going on here, chat? I must have copied and pasted something in incorrectly here. Drudru la tuarles is what it should be. And then now la is a prefix. The suffering continues. Although I think that this will go above the adverb. Took off one by one his clothes. Great. Whew. All right. And then what's our verb here? Remove. So toar. Toar bakal. Oh, maybe we can put this bakal quin nok before toar. Remove. No, what's going on here? Ah. By heat struck. Okay, yeah, that's good. At last, removed, remove. No, what do I want to do here? What do I want to do here? At last, struck by heat. No, this is actually suffering heat striking him. All right, it's fine then, I guess. Removed clothes. Bathe becomes past. I want to put this locative as a suffix. Sidalbe. Stream. Locative, and then path locative as well. Nakribe. And we'll turn this relative into a participial. Suffix lying in his path. Okay, great. Yeah, okay. More or less, right? So now we have an interesting basis to start to make something that looks very different. Because now we have longer words, we have suffixes, we can play around with a different style of sound changes, and I think by the time we have made versions of this story or of another short text in all of these languages, they'll all end up looking quite different. But I think that is probably the extent of what my brain can do at the moment. So I'm gonna just scoot back over here and thank YouTube, our YouTube viewers, for joining us today. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a brain tester for me, and a patience tester for all of us as I've struggled with this keyboard. But you know what? Good things are worth the struggle. There's a little lesson from your Uncle Colin today. But anyway, thanks again, YouTube. We'll see you back here next time. Chat! That was fun. Oh my goodness. Oh. I'm going to catch up on the chat just before I say too much more. Yeah, Logan's got some good stuff here about information structure and word order changes. Very interesting. Yeah, so what did we do today? We came up with some romanizations. We worked on tone sandhi. We worked on some grammatical changes. We've got a really nice setup to start playing with branch A. I think branch A is going to end up having influence from, maybe branch A is the one, I think someone, was it Quain? Who said that? That maybe branch A is the one that interacts with the call languages. That'd be kind of cool. Yeah, super, super fun. Next week, we're going to come back. I think we're going to do something much the same. That'll be the last Peru special stream next week. And then week after that, I'll be back in home base, and you'll see familiar things once again, and you won't hear the ice cream elephant, sadly. Although I don't even think we heard him today. Maybe because it's colder. It's a shame. Anyway, YouTube, thanks again for joining. We will see you again next time. See you in the Discord. See you in the comment section. And until then, thumbs up, thumbs firmly up in the air, and have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next time.